mental illness be treated and what role does it play in society? Hello friends. Today I want to talk about why mental illness should be treated and what role this disease plays in society. The points I will raise here may not have been discussed in detail in any book or article. In previous clips, I explained how mental illness is formed. This disease is usually caused by a lot of pressure on a very intelligent person. That person, to be able to cope with difficulties in the short term, uses this disorder as a way to adapt. In fact, he uses negative energy. At this point, we may think that mental illness is simply a personal problem and that the person harms himself, but this is a mistake. Mental illness has a behavior similar to addiction. Just as a person may turn to drugs to escape problems or achieve their goals, and ultimately not only fail to achieve their goals but also become addicted, mental illness has a similar mechanism. After a while, an addicted person can no longer control their own life but also tries to get others addicted to avoid criticism of their lifestyle. The mentally ill behave exactly like this. They become dependent on negative energy and unintentionally involve those around them. How is mental illness contagious? Mentally ill people usually involve those around them in this vicious cycle by offering negative energies, tempting others, and lying about the benefits of negative energy. These negative energies include anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy, regret, and obsessive behaviors. Now imagine a person with a mental illness who is not only caught up in these energies themselves, but also unintentionally passes them on to their family and those around them. This is a collective destruction that can continue for generations. Just as an addict may lead others to addiction, a person with a mental illness, due to their strong dependence on negative energies, unconsciously involves others in mental disorders. Why is negative energy so dangerous? There are two important points about negative energy. 1. When we use negative energy, we can no longer benefit from positive energy. Just as we cannot be calm and angry at the same time, a jealous person cannot help others at the same time. 2. Using negative energy takes control of it out of our hands. At first, we may think that we only use it against our enemies, but gradually, we will use it even against our loved ones. Gradually, the constant use of negative energy weakens the morals of the person. The trust between him and those around him is destroyed, his emotions are depleted and finally, his humanity fades. It is just like a destructive flood that starts with a small stubbornness and ends up destroying everything. Mental illness and addiction. Surprising similarities. Just as an addict initially thinks that he can control his drug use but eventually finds himself trapped, the mentally ill person thinks that he can use negative energy only on special occasions, but gradually this energy engulfs him. To be able to sell their drugs, addicts have to lie about it and create temptation. The mentally ill person, to continue his life, must also transmit false beliefs about negative energies to others. What is the solution? We need a collective and global awareness against mental illness, similar to what happened with drugs. Just as support systems have been created and strict laws have been enacted to combat addiction, similar measures should be taken with mental illness. I always give an example. Addiction is like an atomic bomb that causes destruction in one go. Mental illness is like solar energy that, if not properly controlled, can burn the entire existence. This is also the reason for creating this channel. We do not have enough information about mental illness and, unfortunately, it is not given the attention it deserves. I hope that future generations will become aware of this great danger and find ways to deal with it. How can we stop the spread of mental illness? Increase public awareness. Just as there is deterrent advertising for cigarettes and drugs, there should also be sufficient information about the harmful effects of mental illness. Limit the promotion of negative energy. Just as tobacco companies are no longer allowed to freely advertise cigarettes, there should also be sensitivity about the spread of negative energy in the media, films, and advertisements. Deeper understanding of mental illnesses. Only by accurately understanding these disorders can their spread be prevented. Contrary to what was thought in the Middle Ages, mental disorders are not solved by killing or rejecting sick people. Rather, the only way to deal with them is to recognize, be aware of, and prevent their spread. Just as the world has taken preventive measures against smoking, drugs, and alcohol, serious measures should also be taken against negative energy and mental illnesses. Thank you for taking the time to listen.